Foundation worth of 500,000 testing kits and then 1 million face masks to the United States after the outbreak is also an issue in the United States of America. That is some couple of weeks ago. Later on, so 1 million masks were given to the government of Japan. That was between March 2 to March 6. So the same thing, that is the same amount of 1 million masks went for Iran from the same Jack Ma Foundation. So in total for Europe, 1.8 million has committed himself to supporting countries and continents in the fight against the coronavirus to contain the disease and to prevent its further spread. So this is the situation for the Jack Ma Foundation. So for the case of Africa, you will find that there is up to 1.8. Yeah. So right now on we notice that the plane is offloading the consignment. A lot of technology is happening here. That is to get the materials out. We know that this consignment arrived in Africa some 1 week ago, and Ethiopia was the host country for the onward distribution of these items, which is happening. So with me, I will be connecting with the chief facilitator of the whole situation for the Gambia delivery here later on. But we are actually, the total number of items to be delivered in the Gambia is up to 1.1 million testing kits for the coronavirus. You have 6 million masks and then 600,000 medical suits and seals. These are all materials bound for only Africa. So yes, that is happening. But from the arrangement, we understand already after the delivery of the consignment, it will first go to the World Food Program of the Gambia, who will later on deliver it back to the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare for further delivery to medical institutions in the Gambia. So this is a bit of in line with the Minister of Health pledge to strengthen the health facilities, and by the arrival of these materials, it is expected that more health facilities will be able to handle or contain or manage cases of coronavirus in the country. So that is it. So next to me is the chief facilitator, who is also my boss in this job, Mr. Haruna. The Ethiopian airline has just come, and this is broadcasting for iAfrica in collaboration with Paradise TV. What do you have to throw on this?
Well, it's really, really good, even though Gambia doesn't have a lot of incidents of the coronavirus. We only have 3. But I think it's a very incredible gesture by Jack Ma, the founder of the Alibaba Group, for his foundation to donate to each and every African country. And today what we are witnessing here is his contribution to the Gambia. And in fact, I think it's quite essential that we are ahead of ourselves as far as the coronavirus is concerned, COVID-19, and that the country of the Gambia is already having the test kits, protective gear for our health workers, including gloves and other sanitary wares. So it's a really good opportunity now to be receiving these items, and we're very grateful.
What is the arrangement as regards to the delivery procedure? It is just coming from the Ethiopian airline. Where are the consignment going first and later on?
Well, it will be received by the World Food Programme as it is done in almost every country around Africa, and it is WHO, World Food Programme and the United Nations who will officially hand it over with the assistance of the Chinese representatives in the Gambia to the Minister of Health and the Director of Medical Services in the Gambia, and then for onward delivery to the hospitals, clinics and other facilities around the country.
That was, Aruna Drame, the CEO of Paradise TV, and like I said, we are broadcasting in collaboration with the Paradise TV, with iAfrica TV. So the airport here, it is very sunny, but also this is a material that ought to be focused on the Gambia. We having registered 3 cases of coronavirus. I mean, this is a very timely step for the authorities and health authorities to manage the incidence of coronavirus. So far only 3 cases and 2 are alive. So, and 1 probable test as we reported yesterday. So now, the delivery is taking place, and this is the whole week of program by the Ethiopian airline under the logistical arrangement of Ethiopian Prime Minister. So this is the moment for Gambia, and we understand the airline came from Mali via Senegal. We not sure that the interaction has been like this, but now this is what this does mean for the Gambia is definitely what the ministry will have something to say. So let me fetch out the Director of Medical Services, that is Mr. Njai. Mr. Njai, you are Director of Health Education and Promotion in the Gambia. So what are we doing here today at the Bjl International Airport?
Thank you very much. What we are now doing is that we are witnessing the handing over of donation from Jack Ma Foundation to the government of the Gambia as part of their contribution towards the fight against corona in this country. And then this is something that we are doing it together. You can see the WHO country representative is here, the WFP country representative is here. We're going to see the Minister of Health is also around. We also have the ambassador, Chinese ambassador from the Chinese Republic of China is also here. So all our colleagues from the various sectors are here. So this is a welcome idea and a welcome donation, and it certainly will contribute to whatever we are doing in the fights against corona in the Gambia. So we really thank anyone who is also part of this process, especially the government and People's Republic of China for the support.
What is going to be the delivery procedure? Right now it is just coming from the airline. From here, what next?
From here, as you know, we have to follow the normal procedures. We already have a logistic management information system, and as you know, we'll look at the various components of the National Health Emergency Committee. We also have what we call the Logistic and Safety Subcommittee. And that subcommittee have been working with the guidance of WFP, other partners. They've been working very closely. So that from here, it is going to be taken to the center. After all the formalities at the airport, it's going to be taken to the central medical stores, and then everything is going to be catalogued. And then the Director of National Pharmaceutical Services, we receive the material, and also we do all the necessary documentation before it is going to be delivered to the various areas of where they are needed.
Means the delivery will also touch almost all corners of the country.
All corners, yeah, all corners. Normally, as you know, our logistic management information delivery system covers also from central level to regional level to the health facility up to down to the community level. So you can see how we distribute, and we also have a tracking system, and they are very good in tracking whatever we are doing. So they have a system to track whatever comes in and whatever also goes out. So we are very happy that this has come, and then be rest assured, we want to assure the public that what has been donated is going to be put into good use.
So we understood from Jack Ma himself, he said each of the African countries will receive about 20,000 testing kits for the coronavirus and 100,000 medical use, that is the suit and protective gears.
Yeah.
So how would this help the Gambian medical experts?
Yeah, it will help us now in our testing. It also helps us in our screening. It also helps us in our surveillance, whatever we are doing. The equipment here are many, and then there are different categories of equipment. So all this equipment are needed for service delivery at wherever we are when it comes to COVID-19. So we are very grateful to Jack Ma Foundation.
In terms of knowledge, do the Gambian health workers understand the usage and the procedure how to use it?
Yeah, their capacities have been trained, for example, how to put on the mask, how to put on gloves, how to remove them. All those things are part of the capacity strengthening program, and this has already been done at all levels. Yeah, thank you.
So that was Modu Jai, Director of Health Promotion and Education in the Gambia, who actually holds almost a regular daily press conference in the Gambia to update the country as to the level of progress on the situation of coronavirus in the Gambia. Like we said, Gambia registered so far 3 cases, and 2 are receiving treatment within the health facilities. And today's donation from the Jack Ma Foundation is expected to reinforce the whole work of the, the entire work for the Ministry of Health. We also spotted the Minister of Health himself here. Earlier on, he was expected to arrive here, and then now the handing over is likely happening, and then there is a kind of handshaking, not the direct way, not the usual way, between him and the World Food Program officials and the Chinese officials. So this is the handing of the consignment that was bound for Gambia by the Jack Ma Foundation, which is part of a larger consignment of that goes to all the 54 countries in Africa. So here at the Bjl International Airport. So it looks like now the formalities are being observed, having the consignment background and the Ethiopian airline as the background. So top official from the World Food Program, the Chinese Embassy in the Gambia, and the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare of the Gambia taking, facing the cameras for some pictures. Okay, now it is the Minister of Health himself taking the honor to receive, from the Chinese ambassador and World Food Program there in the center. So that's what we are observing here, and then all journalists keenly following, and this is what the government always continue to celebrate with relationship with China. And this one is the billionaire himself, one of the richest Chinese, Jack Ma, through his foundation, making this delivery for the Gambia. Okay, it looks like that was the case. Okay, now the Chinese ambassador is actually speaking. Maybe we go closer and feature his voice projection. Okay, so
social distancing, please.
There is some advocacy on the background that for the need for social distancing. But let me just point the mic there and see if we can. Yeah, we just want to see if they have to, if they want to say something officially. Of course, we will give them the mic, but we are not sure this is the most formal part of it. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Sure, we can do that. If they're going to talk, then yeah.
So now you should look for the one with the long handle, isn't it? Yes. Yeah. But I think we'll do the interviews on the other side.
Yeah, so exactly. So the formal handing over ceremony will take place at the podium, so meaning that we don't have to struggle to force the mics to the minister. But what is happening here is more of a demonstration of what is the handing over of the items from Ethiopia to the Jack Ma Foundation to the Gambian authorities, that is the World Food Program, excuse me for that, who will receive it, then hand it over to the Ministry of Health of the Gambia. So that's the case actually, and this means a reinforcement on the Gambia's fight against the coronavirus, and then it will also strengthen the health facilities to control the spread of the disease. So meanwhile, anytime from now, the formal speeches will come from the minister and the WFP that we will also feature live. You are just reminded that this is the Bjl International Airport, where the Ethiopian airline has just delivered the Gambian package for as the support from the Jack Ma Foundation to African countries in support on the fight of coronavirus, which is meanwhile the global pandemic. And to relate this with what is happening in the Gambia, already the authorities in Gambia have declared a state of emergency, meaning that all efforts are now to be put on deck to control the further spread of the disease. Having our neighboring Senegal also, struggling with the disease with more than 100 cases, confirmed cases, meaning that, this is a timely move for this side of Gambia. Okay, it is one package, and as the Director of Health Promotion said, this is going to be, decided for delivery, onward delivery to all medical facilities across the Gambia, and it looks, looks like there are different kinds of tools and medical items that are being packed in this giant pact that the Ministry of Health, have every reason to smile about. So, and it is a matter of days now for Gambians to really feel the impact of this support, from the Jack Ma Foundation. Okay, so let me just pass the mic to Mr. Haruna Rami now to describe exactly what is going to happen next. Okay. So what is likely to happen now?
We're going to have the speeches from the Chinese representative to the Gambia, the WFP representative, the WHO representative, and the Honorable Minister of Health to officially accept this on behalf of the Republic of the Gambia. So a matter of few minutes, this is one of the big consignments. There is one more that they're going to upload now, and that will be it for Gambia's share. Yes.
Okay, meanwhile, that is the point, and then the formal handing over of these items will take place definitely to the podium that is being organized behind us here, and that is first consignment is already down. The second one is coming. This one is to be offloaded now to get ready for onward delivery for the Gambian facilities, health facilities. So meanwhile, this was Sankano. We are here at the airport, and we've just seen the delivery of the consignment from the Ethiopian airline, which is as part of the donation that Jack Ma Foundation is offering to Africa. What does this mean to the Gambia?
Well, it emphasizes global solidarity. We are all one. When something happens in one corner of the world, we are interconnected. So Chinese solidarity, Jack Ma has been a good example of philanthropy, and this is the real time that every philanthropist or every business or any person with the means to come together, and then he did the right thing, and we are impressed that it came here on the right time. I mean, looking at it, the way it was announced, delivered in Ethiopia, the logistical challenge. So it's quite impressive that we got it here. The timely delivery is very impressive, which shows that even though we have a global pandemic, some of the logistical, the humanitarian delivery supply chain is working, and I'm impressed.
So we know the first delivery will be going to the World Food Program. The World Food Program will receive it on behalf of the country, after which it will be forwarded to the Ministry of Health. So looking at the chain of distribution, what does this signify?
Well, we have to be accountable. to know where it's going. And right now we are in a state of public emergency. And that means, we have to look at a lot of things. We have people under quarantine. The state is feeding them. And we have people like we discussed. Not everybody, as you people have been asking, in a situation like this, not everybody can afford their daily survival. And the government has a responsibility to make sure that, there is enough food for everyone. So WHO, which is the UN agency in charge of feeding, is the right authority to receive this one on our behalf. At the end of the day, it's the Gambia government that's going to distribute them. That's the Gambia. Basically, they have the logistics, they have the warehouses. WHO has the warehouses, so they store it, and after they bring it to the government, and we distribute it to the people.
So it means Gambia waited for about 1 week because these items began arriving in Ethiopia about 1 week ago. So the distribution has been spearheaded by the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, who have been touching different parts of the continent. So today is the West African show, that is the Gambia, from Mali, Senegal, then to Gambia. So this is like prioritizing, countries according to the way they are hit, or it means, it must be, they must start somewhere, right?
Yeah, it's normal. You have to look at logistics. It's the logistics that you look at. Coming all the way from China, Ethiopia is the regional hub. So I will just look at the way they look at distribution. You have to look at the availability of aircrafts, and then, so redistribution. So which country, and look at the population. So basically, it's just a normal distribution routine. So I would not like to overinterpret it. So we are glad that within 1 week, some people are making pledges. It will take 1 year. Some people are making empty pledges you never see. So this guy made a pledge. We've seen it and we've received it. And so we are grateful.
Even the World Food Program and, with exception of the Chinese, official of the Chinese Embassy World Food Program, the Ministry of Health, they were here many hours before the Ethiopian airline would land. So there is a point of patience in the side of the Gambian authorities and officials in the Gambia. Does it mean that it was highly anticipated that these things, whatever time it comes, people have to come to it?
Yeah, indeed. Okay, like now we are in a state of emergency. We have some time, not much time, because we have a lot of work to do. Just because we have a state of emergency, that doesn't mean that we have to stop working. So it's part of the work. We are not in the office, but we are here. It's part of the routine. So staying here for 3 hours, 4 hours is like, being in the office. So it's normal routine, and we are here, and because there were some delays, which is logistics, is normal. Because of that delay, we decided, okay, now it's coming, let's wait. At the end of the day, yeah, we are happy that it's delivered, and then...
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate
So that was Abubakar Prince Sankano, who is one of the government spokesperson and media officers who also threw his voice to what is happening right now. Like we said, the consignment that is bound for Gambia is now here. And this is the part that Gambia will now have to pick up the challenge after receiving this from Jack Ma Foundation in the fight against coronavirus. So this is an interesting moment, and you have the officials of the Chinese embassy in the Gambia, the WFP, and the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. So already now the arrangement is being made for formal handing after the cargo dispatch the package to the Gambia. So some leveling is taking place, and I think the most important thing is to know that last night the President of the Republic of the Gambia declared a state of public emergency, where all attention is now directed to the fight against the coronavirus. So the cases that are already in the country, there must be prevention of further spread of these cases. So at the Bjl International Airport, this is what is happening right now, and we appreciate you listening. So anytime from now, so it is like the formal speeches that we are arranging for, that is being arranged here for the officials definitely to take up the podium and share with the public what exactly does this mean for the Gambia. Already the first consignment has been taken off the platform, and the second one has also been delivered. Now the formalities is what is being waited. So like we said earlier on, this is just part of 1.8 million, that is being donated for the continent. So each country in Africa will have up to 20,000 testing kits. That's what Jack Ma Foundation tweeted 1 week ago. And each country will benefit from a 100,000 medical use protective gears, including the face shields. So in total, 1.1 million testing kits for the coronavirus, 6 million masks, and then 60,000 medical suits and shields will be delivered to the entire continent. That is about 54 countries. So right now the podium is ready, and the Director of Medical Service, Medical Director of Health Promotion and Education, Modu Njai, is going to moderate the event. There is observance of social distancing. Next to him is the Chinese ambassador to the Gambia. And then you have the WFP food representative in the Gambia, and then the Minister of Health and Social Welfare. So they are already for the issue to take place. So the podium is set, through which they will inform us the formalities involved as to the delivery of these consignment for the Gambia. Okay, so Director of Health Promotion is now on the podium moderating the event. We go with him now.
Country representative, the WFP country representative, colleagues from the Gambia, Bjl International Airport, the media. We welcome all of you
Do your 1 meter.
to this important ceremony where we are witnessing the handing over of donation to the government of the Gambia by Jack Ma Foundation. I don't intend to keep you here for long. I will just go straight into business. I now invite His Excellency the Ambassador to give a statement on this important occasion. Your Excellency, welcome.
Honorable Health Minister Dr. Samad, WFP Country Representative Ms. Karen, WHO Country Representative Dr. Desta, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Chinese government has actively taken the most comprehensive, strictest, and thorough measures in control and preventing the COVID-19. As the outbreak situation worldwide continues to develop, China pays more close attention to the situation in Africa. I would like to express appreciations for African people's efforts in combating the outbreak. At the moment, the situation of combating the coronavirus is showing a positive trend in China. But the risk is still exists. China is still fighting against the pandemic. But based on the brotherly China-Africa friendship and the challenge that African countries are facing, China decided to provide emergency medical assistance to support Africa. China is the Gambia's sincere friend and reliable partners. We remember that during China's hardest time in our war against the pandemic, the Gambia friend rendered us solidarity and support. At the moment, the coronavirus has already hit the Gambia. I would once again express our sympathy and support and solidarity with the Gambia government as the Gambian people. We hope we can help the Gambia government strengthen its efforts in containing the outbreak of and safeguard Gambian people's life. China has offered a batch of medical equipment and medicines and 2 vehicles to the Gambia, already handed over early of this month. Today, we are here to receive more medical supplies donated to the Gambia by 2 foundations of China, J.K. Ma's Foundation and the Alibaba Foundation. This batch of supplies include 100,000 face masks, 20,000 testing kits, 1,000 protective clothes, and 1,000 safety goggles. These supplies represent sincere friendship from the Chinese people to the Gambian people. I hope they could be helpful in Gambians fighting against the COVID-19. In this ongoing common war against the pandemic, China will continue providing assistance for African countries, including Gambia. The Chinese embassy now is working positively to coordinate the issues for delivery of the more medical supplies to the Gambia. Ladies and gentlemen, just like Chinese President Xi Jinping stressed in yesterday's G20 summit that virus knows no national borders and the pandemic is a common enemy of mankind. Fighting the pandemic calls for solidarity of the international community, adhering to the vision of building a community with a shared future for mankind. China will do well its homework in containing domestic outbreak and do its best to help other countries to overcome the pandemic. This demonstrates China's commitment to the international public health, and it is also helpful for consolidating what we have already achieved. We are ready to work together with the international community and together to build a public health community for the whole mankind. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friend, we firmly believe that with concerted effort from all sides, the challenges should be finally overcome. The victory will belong to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Ambassador.
Chinese ambassador to the
for that
Gambia,
wonderful statement.
making statement on behalf of the
wisdom,
Jack Ma Foundation.
Words of encouragement.
So, Mr. Modinjai, who is director of health education and promotion, he continues moderating and will invite the next speaker. But before then, we have heard from the Chinese ambassador to the Gambia, who hail high the Chinese government for its public health concern globally, and this demonstrates China's commitment to the relation with Africa. So we continue with the program on the podium there.
All are here. This shows that we are ready to work together in partnership and collaboration to fight COVID-19. I now call on the WFP country representative, Madam Wanja, to give a statement. Madam, welcome.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Minister, Dr. Amadou Samate, Your Excellency, the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, Dr. Desta Tirune, WHO representative in the Gambia. I also want to acknowledge also other representatives coming in from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs who have facilitated so much today, and also from the civil aviation. We have seen so much collaboration and cooperation. I also want to acknowledge that we also have other senior government officials here with us, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, all other protocols observed. Good afternoon. It's been a long morning and long afternoon, and we are happy to finally be here. And note that even in these precarious times, we still need to observe social distancing, and among other efforts that we are applying. We will try our best to undertake our responsibilities as responders to observe these practices. We are also calling on all Gambians to continue, and Gambian residents to continue practicing all precautions necessary to contain the spread of the coronavirus. Allow me, Honorable Minister, to begin by also thanking the government of the Gambia and yourself in particular for all the efforts and for being really at the forefront and continued efforts to protect citizens and residents of the Gambia against the spread of the coronavirus. To date, the Gambia has recorded very few cases, and among those, we have seen only one unfortunate death. Several people continue to be in isolation, and several more in self-quarantine. Amidst all this gloom we have seen around the world, we have a lot to be grateful for and to celebrate. And indeed today, we are pleased to receive a sizable consignment and donation to the African continent and the Gambia by Mr. Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba.com, through the Jack Ma Foundation and also through the government of the Republic of China. We thank you so much for having been the conduit within which this donation is received in the country. We also want to appreciate the African Union, who have also mobilized a number of us to do this delivery, and together with Ethiopian Airlines, WHO, the President, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, who was the mastermind and the spearhead of this big initiative, to have received for the continent 1.1 million test kits for the continent for all 54 member states, 5.4 million masks, 40,000 sets of protective clothing, 60,000 sets of protective shields. And of this consignment, the Gambia will be receiving, as you have heard from His Excellency the Ambassador, 20,000 test kits will be received for the Gambia, 100,000 masks, 740 sets of protective clothing, and 1,000 sets of protective shields. We thank you so much for this donation, and remember also to thank others, such as the African Union, Africa Center for Diseases Control, who have brought a number of us together. I've already named them, but I will do so again. World Health Organization, the World Food Program, Ethiopian Airlines, Prime Minister, and the People's Republic of China. To this effect, I know that we are facing a number of consequences of the COVID-19 in Africa. And it stands to be a catastrophe because primarily Africa has very weak health structures and systems, but also because the devastation transcends beyond health to going into economic crisis. Nonetheless, I am pleased to confirm that the government and the partners are already thinking ahead and on how to combat the related consequences of COVID-19 and to minimize suffering. The United Nations, under the leadership of the government, alongside other partners and collaborators, through funding mechanisms and in-kind donations such as this, will support in bolstering our uniform fight against issues that affect humanity, and most urgently, this global pandemic. and its negative impacts. In closing, I would like to remind all Gambians to continue to practice social distancing and to adhere to WHO guidelines on this medical emergency, and where possible, stay at home as much as possible, unless under serious emergencies. The United Nations, in close collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the larger government of the Gambia, will continue to maintain clear channels of communications with you, and together we will push back this disease and contain its spread in the Gambia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Wanja Karia, for that wonderful statement. I now call on my brother, Dr. Desta Tiruni, who is a WHO country representative in the Gambia. Doctor, you're welcome.
Colleagues, before I start, I want to advise you to really keep distance between each one of you. Social distancing is everywhere. Please observe that. Okay, Director of Ceremonies, Honorable Minister Dr. Ahmadu Lamin Samate, Your Excellency Dr. Ma, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, Ms. Wanja Karia, the UNFPA representative, colleagues, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. I'm honored to be here today to join the handing over of this in-kind donation from Jack Ma and Alibaba Foundations from China to the Gambia. I wish to thank Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Samate, for facilitating the handover. And Honorable Minister, we in the United Nations highly regard your dedication and tireless efforts in the fight to contain the spread of COVID-19 in the Gambia. By yesterday, the global figures of COVID-19 have surpassed 500,000 globally, and with 23,000 deaths, and 481 cases and 2,500 deaths were reported in a single day yesterday. Most of the cases are currently being reported in Europe and North America. Africa seems to be in the early phase of the outbreak, but some countries in Africa have shown a very sharp increase in the number of cases in a very short period of time as compared to other places. Overall, the Gambia has reported only 3 cases of COVID-19. Among them, only one of them succumbed to death. All 3 are confirmed cases that are imported from outside the Gambia. For now, there is no evidence of local transmission. Therefore, this donation is arriving in the Gambia at a very critical time in our response to the COVID-19 outbreak. We are today emphatically grateful to receive the donations of personal protective equipment and the COVID-19 testing kits for the Gambia. This consignment allotted to the Gambia is part of the larger donation that Jack Ma and Alibaba Foundations directed to 54 African member states. With this donation, Africa's response to COVID-19 pandemic has received an immense boost. This support, directed through the African Union, African Center for Disease Control and Prevention, has brought several partners together to ensure safe and expeditious delivery to the Gambia. The World Health Organization, the World Food Program, the Ethiopian Airlines, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia have shown leadership in ensuring the consignment is delivered to 54 African states with less than 10 days period. The World Health Organization globally and the Gambia will continue to lead the efforts of the COVID-19 response pandemic in the UN system. The test kits and other materials received will go a long way in the fight against COVID-19 locally against this pandemic. I don't want to go to the details of the supplies that we have received, which were mentioned already. The fight against COVID-19 is a global fight. We all are together in this fight. This is what we are observing today. Multiple stakeholders are putting together their resources and efforts for the same cause of stopping a global threat to humanity. The donation is an excellent demonstration of solidarity. We are sincerely grateful to all those who worked tirelessly to make these supplies arrive to all African countries in such a short time. Honorable Minister, I'm honored to let you know that the United Nations system in the Gambia is committed to providing the concerted support and will rally behind you, behind the government of the Republic of the Gambia in the fight against COVID-19. I thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, WR. I now call on someone who has been the head of our subcommittee on logistics and safety, who has been working very hard on the background, but people need to know who this person is. Is Mr. Alhaji Babanding Sabali, the Director of National Pharmaceutical Services. He's going to give you the vote of thanks, and then from there we just have the official handed over, and then the minister will speak. Babanding, welcome.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Good afternoon, Honorable Minister of Health and Safety, WR, Director World Food Program, and then the Chinese Ambassador. We are grateful to be here today to welcome this very important donation. As you may be aware, personal protective gears or equipment are a necessity to ensure that our frontline health workers are protected. Besides that, it will also help to protect the caregivers both at home and at our treatment centers. Therefore, receiving this donation will go a long way in ensuring that we provide that protection to our frontline health workers and all those who matters. On behalf of the government of the Gambia, through His Excellency the President, Honorable His Excellency Adam Barrow, and then our Honorable Minister and the entire executive of the government and the people of the Gambia, we say a big thank you to the Chinese government and then to AU who has been facilitating to ensure that this thing reaches us. We also thank our partners, the World Food Program through their country representative, and also thank WHO through their for facilitating this gift of donation. On that note, we thank everybody and we want to assure that this gift will go a long way in ensuring that it complements government efforts and it will help us to strengthen our supply system. On that note, we thank everybody. We thank the press for coming, and we thank the airport authorities for being here all the time. And more importantly, we thank the staff of the World Food Program who has been behind us all the time to ensure that these things are all coordinated. Thank you to all of you.
Now we'll now witness the handing over. The Chinese ambassador will hand over to the WFP country representative, and the WFP country representative will hand over to the WR, and WR will hand over to the Honorable Minister, and then after that, the Honorable Minister will receive the item and then come and do his statement. Is that okay? Then we have a Chinese ambassador to hand over to WR. Yeah. And then WFP will hand over to WR, and WR will hand over to Honorable Minister. Can someone help me to take photos? Musa. So I now have the honor and privilege to invite the Honorable Minister of Health, Honorable Hamed Lamin Samata, to deliver his statement. Honorable, welcome.
Thank you very much. His Excellency, the Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to the Gambia, Ambassador Ma Zhanshun, the WFP representative, Madam Wanja, our own sister, the WHO representative, Dr. Tiruni, our own brother too, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today we received a shipment of medical equipment facilitated by the government of China through the Jack Ma and Alibaba Foundations to boost efforts to fight the spread of the coronavirus disease, that's COVID-19, in the Gambia. The consignment of laboratory diagnostic kits and infection prevention and control gear, including 20,000 test kits, 100,000 masks, 740 sets of protective clothing, and 1,000 sets of protective shields was flown in by the Ethiopian Airlines this afternoon. The entire world is coming together in our efforts against COVID-19. In the face of adversity, humankind unites, and this donation from China demonstrates that it is indeed everybody putting efforts together against the coronavirus. The medical equipment are part of the continent-wide donation in support of actions towards implementation of the Africa Joint Continental Strategy for COVID-19, led by the African Union through the Africa Center for Disease Control. In all, the Jack Ma and Alibaba Foundations have provided 1.08 million test kits, 5.4 million masks, 40,000 sets of protective clothing, and 60,000 sets of protective shields that are being dispatched to 54 African countries. The ACDC, Ethiopian Airlines, the United Nations, World Food Programme, and the World Health Organization are facilitating the dispatch of the much-needed cargo across the continent. We are very grateful to the partners who have made it possible for this shipment to arrive in Gambia in time for us to continue the battle to contain the rapid spread of the virus. The WHO country representative in the Gambia, Dr. Dexter Tiruni, emphasized the United Nations commitment to providing concerted effort and support to the government, and reiterated that all efforts were being rallied behind member states in our efforts against COVID-19. The Ambassador of China, His Excellency Ambassador Ma Jianxun, our own brother, the World Food Program country representative in the Gambia, Madam Wanja, are all present with us at the airport together with Dr. Dexter Tiruni. This emphasizes the partnership between the government of the Gambia and all the other donor partners, all the other technical partners who are based in this country in our collective efforts to contain COVID-19 in the Gambia. We all know COVID-19 is a reality in the world. We have been seeing how it is ravaging other parts of the world. We have also seen where their efforts have yielded very good results, as it happened in China. I think this is an opportunity to learn from what China did in the containment of the disease. There were very, very good lessons from the Chinese government, the Chinese people, and the Chinese medical practitioners, and all other people who contributed to the containment of the disease in China. This is a reality, and the lessons are there for all of us to heed to. There's no room for complacency. We need to follow the rules. We have known quite a lot about the disease now, that social distancing does help. Now, unfortunately, we realize that even the media, we struggle to make sure that you practice social distancing. We are all practicing that to do so. It is not easy because it is not the usual way we live, but we have to endeavor because, as we said earlier, these are unusual times, and unusual times demand unusual behavior. In the Gambia, we are struggling to send the message across because still some people do have some other concepts, but I think the message is sinking through. People are appreciating the fact. Now, with the donation of this equipment, this protective gear, the test kits, inshallah, we are going to be able to deal with the cases we currently have in a better way. We pray against it, but if we do have more cases, we'll be in a better position to deal with it. Once again, I thank you very much for your attention. Thank you. Thank you, Secretary.
Thank you very much, Honorable, for that encouraging statement. The equipment we have, if we have any other case, we can deal with it. That is the message. And the fact that COVID-19 is a reality, we must work towards it to fight it. So on that note, I thank all of you for coming, and I now declare this important ceremony officially closed here. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. You can get it.
That was the official handing over of the donation from the Jack Ma Foundation to the Gambia. So this foundation started donating to countries around the world since the outbreak of this coronavirus. It could be recalled that medical donations worth 500,000 test kits for coronavirus and 1 million face masks were first donated to the United States. And later on, the same Jack Ma Foundation went over to Japan, where it deployed 1 million masks. And the same amount, 1 million masks, went to Iran. These are all countries which we are highly hit of this coronavirus, COVID-19 pandemic, and because of it, 1.8 million masks went to Europe, in addition to 100,000 testing kits for the coronavirus. So this is the turn for Africa. So the Chinese billionaire Jack Ma and his foundation dispensed a total number of 1.1 million testing kits, 6 million masks, 60,000 medical suits and shields to 54 countries in Africa. All the donation, according to official has been done through the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, and the distribution for 1 week now has been done through the Ethiopian airline. So the WHO rep is here, and you also have other officials within the country to quickly say a bit on this. So it is our pleasure to have a WHO. Yeah. Yes, this is iAfrica TV in collaboration with Paradise TV. We've witnessed the handing over of these materials. What does this mean for the Gambia?
It means a lot. It means a lot, not only for the Gambia, for all African countries. This support is going to help a lot because we are at early stage of the outbreak and we need a lot of support, and this is very much welcome. And it's coming for the Gambia where we are having only 3 cases. We don't know what will happen in the next few weeks. So these supplies will help a lot in the terms of preparing for the worst, because the trend from other countries, what we see is you will start with few cases, but it may expand again to more cases. So this will be a very good one. Particularly the testing kits, 20,000 testing kits will be very, very much helpful for what we are doing, and to improve also the testing capacity is very much welcome.
So the donation is coming from the country which was known to be the epicenter of coronavirus, that is China. Isn't this a bit of irony in the situation?
No, China was, they have gone through the experience and they have managed to contain the outbreak in a very short period of time because of the response they mounted on time. And China also is one of the countries that have bigger capacity in industrial production, and they were able to recover very quickly, and they have also produced also lots of materials that were actually needed at the time. Since the cases are now going to very, very low cases, now they are seeing only very few local cases, and most of them are reported. They don't need all these supplies, so they are now donating these supplies from China to other countries who need it. So this shows that we are together in this fight. This is not only for one country, it's for the whole world, and we have to fight this war together. This is what it demonstrates.
So the package that comes in the Gambia includes 20,000 testing kits. I was saying the package that comes in Gambia includes 20,000 testing kits and about 100,000 masks. So how would this help the Gambia in your way?
It will help a lot. Currently, we are having only very few getting tested, but in the days to come, we don't know how many more will be seen. And regarding the mask, these are very important, particularly for the health workers, who are the frontline workers who will be facing the first cases that will be coming to be tested. So this is very important. Currently, there was a little bit of shortage, so this will be a big relief for the Gambia, and it will prepare the health workers better and avoid also getting the disease in the attempt to protect others. Thank you very much.
That was WHO country rep in the Gambia, who also participated in the handing over of this consignment to the Gambia. Actually, it took different stages, from the Chinese ambassador to the Gambia, to the World Food Program, then to the World Health Organization, and finally to the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. So the indication or the message from these officials is that therefore is that it will help the Gambia in the fight. So the Chinese ambassador is talking, we join him.
Relevant size to arrange some logistical issues for delivery. The next batch of the medical supply granted by Chinese government will be delivered very soon. Thank you very much. Let's work together.
That was the Chinese ambassador to the Gambia, who always emphasized always that the relationship between China and Gambia. Yes, exactly. So we missed part of your interview. So just iAfrica TV in collaboration with Paradise TV. That is this.
iAfrica. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you get to say to us?
So you see, when China was hit by the COVID-19, so we got great solidarity and support from the African peoples, from the Gambian peoples. So now the African countries, the Gambia, was hit by coronavirus. So we Chinese government pays close attention to this situation. Chinese government decided to provide assistance, including granting the medical supplies to our Gambian people. Today we received some medical supplies donated by the two foundations from China, the J.K. Ma Foundation and the Alibaba Foundation. This represents the sincere friendship from the Chinese people to the Gambian people. I would like to introduce to you the Chinese government already arranged another batch of medical supplies. We was granted to the African countries, including the Gambia. Our Chinese embassy is working positively in arranging the logistics, try to help them to deliver this batch of the medical supplies to the Gambia as soon as possible. Thank you.
You got that message from the Chinese ambassador. Maybe just like you said, medical supplies are expected as soon as possible. So how is the situation in China? Is the case of Gambia likely to be the same?
Oh, okay. So the medical supplies, I think, include some medical face masks, the protective seals, and some safety goggles, testing kits. So things like this, yeah.
We have 3 cases in the Gambia, 1 died already. So you think the remaining with these materials, this is able to win the war?
So you see, this is the coronavirus is an enemy to our human beings. So we think at present we should unite and we should work together to fight against the coronavirus. So I think with our concerted efforts, we will win the human beings. We will win the victory. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Thank you.
That was Ambassador of China to the Gambia, who actually, just spoke to Africa on the case. So, Ambassador of China to the Gambia was speaking to us on that, with expressing the beautiful relation between China and Africa, and that the pledge is more medical supplies will also come to the continent in support of Africa in the fight against the coronavirus. So the handing over from the Jack Ma Foundation, the Alibaba Foundation has been done by high-level officials in the Gambia. Now the next step is to witness the onward delivery of these materials to various medical facilities, various health centers across the country for more testings to be conducted, more medical officials to be provided with the materials they've been asking for in order to be able to do their work in the right perspective. That was the whole thing about today's presentation, and from there I think we will now send signal back to our studio in Banjul, and then until another time it was we in the ground here. My name is Ibrahim Presba, and this was a broadcast in collaboration with Paradise TV. As you know, the CEO himself, Haruna Drame, was all through with us on the ground here. In fact, he is the chief facilitator of all the logistics in terms of media arrangement to make this coverage possible. So from the iAfrica team, we thank you for being there with us all through, and have a very good time, and continue tuning to iAfrica through iAfrica.tv. Bye-bye for now.
man kontaan boy mana hen boy nga nyim bata mbe taki tubabu du boy nga nakko do mbe do ku boy ngaki na nyin kenni moy boy pura e bungolo nyi boro na bungo hani lento amam futaji boy de jibe lu njumala ya fanya koy babun lola ama me ila bungo jibe abadane jara foyte lafta fula nyi man balwo kalam mum balwo fo balwo ko budlo ko fanan kele boy nyim bungo jala be nyamende abe mu balwo la do boy
ñin kunne suniata ta www.baluwo.com anin baluwo